Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the channel. This is not going to be a full-on reaction of any kind of Black Mirror episodes. This is going to be kind of like how we used to do it on the channel, where I wouldn't react. I would just give commentary, and I kind of want y'all's opinion in the comments to see, am I the only one that feels like this? Am I like alone in this feeling and everybody really messed with this season of Black Mirror kind of thing? Because when I heard Black Mirror was coming out with a new season, I was like, yes, this is a perfect type of video for me to make a reaction to, obviously, right? Black Mirror is very popular, and a lot of times there's like a twist that is like kind of dark. So they make good reactions. But the reactor's dilemma that I found myself in, that I always find myself in, I ended up watching all 5 of the new episodes before I even turned on my computer to consider reacting, which actually turns out to be not as bad of a thing as I thought, because I kind of had mixed reviews about this new season of Black Mirror. For those that don't know, if you've never seen Black Mirror, it's a Netflix special. I believe it's in the UK. I think that's where like it's produced, but that has neither here nor there. It's a type of like 21st century Twilight Zone where it feels extremely close to the present. You could tell it's in the future, but the way the world is in the future is like something we shouldn't like in the show, and it's extremely close to the present. It's not like 2070 so far in the future. It seems like the tech that they're using in the show is something that could be right around the corner. And that's kind of what gives it this dystopian, dark feeling, like this feeling of unease that you should feel about it, because this could literally be our lives. And to be honest, a lot of the times it's a highlighted version of what our lives currently is. It's like on steroids to make it seem more visible, but it's a mirror of the way we are, which is why the show's called Black Mirror. And that in itself is the reason why I have the mixed bag of emotions, because that description I just gave, that is my favorite thing and a lot of people's favorite thing about Black Mirror. There was only 5 episodes this season, and really there were only 2 episodes that revolved around like futuristic tech and dystopian tech, in a dystopian world where nothing is as good as it seems because of the tech that we use today. We let it consume our lives too much. We let it drive our lives too far. Like, is the way this tech being used, is it moral? Is it something that's going to drive humanity, or is it going to be the destruction? And that's literally where Black Mirror flirts that line with its ideas. But out of the 5 episodes, like I said, there was only 2 this season that kind of dealt in that dystopian future feeling. The other 3 were almost like horror or dark murder, or it just didn't feel like traditional Black Mirror. There's 5 episodes. I'm looking at the 5 episodes right now. There's 5 episodes in season 6, and the 2 that revolve around futuristic tech are Joan is Awful, which is episode 1, and Beyond the Sea, which is episode 3. Episode 2, Lock Henry, kind of revolves around like a documentary about a murder, and there's like a disturbing twist at the end. Maisie Day, which is about a troubled star trying to dodge paparazzi, and that also has like a horror twist at the end. And then also Demon 79, which is like a horror comedy type of episode. And while every single episode is solid, I loved every episode. Don't get me wrong then in the fact that I'm like, those 3 episodes are mid. It's not that they're mid, it's just not what I expected from Black Mirror. So if y'all guys are interested in watching and y'all haven't yet, just so you know, my favorite episodes are gonna obviously be the 2 that revolve around futuristic tech. Beyond the Sea is probably my favorite of the 2. Joan is Awful, which is episode 1. It is pretty solid. I called the twist at the end just because of the logistics of the episode and the logic, and I'm like, it's gotta be like this. So even though I called it, I still really enjoyed it because it's a crazy concept. That one is the closest one to reality, and that's the closest one that hits like, oh, we're kind of in that position right now, and this could easily be used against us in 10 years. So if you want that feeling of unease, Joan is Awful is definitely the one to watch. Beyond the Sea is probably the most like emotionally driving one, and you're like, what? Like, bro, this is not a good idea. From the jump, this is not a good idea. And like the concept is super fire for the episode, and like the tech that's used, the concept of the tech is super tight, but not a good idea. Episode 2, Lock Henry, which is about the murder and about the serial killer. That one is also a solid episode. Again, not tech driven in my opinion whatsoever, but still a solid episode. And then Demon 79 is cool, and Maisie Day are cool, but they're just not up to par that like the first 3 are. But that's it. No spoilers. Don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you've seen the episodes or if you haven't seen the episodes, I just wanted to give my opinion, and I want to get y'all's opinion. Like, were y'all as disappointed as I was in the fact that the episodes aren't like futuristic, dystopian, tech driven, like the dark side of potentially what tech could be? Or are you kind of like refreshed in the fact that it's not all tech driven and it's more like just storytelling, especially with the 3 episodes that don't have tech inside of them? I don't know. Y'all guys just let me know. Either way, obviously cinematography is amazing. Obviously it's the Black Mirror you would expect it to be in terms of quality of production. but the stories are just slightly different. But other than that, guys, that's it for this video. Tell me your favorite episodes. I would love to hear. I'll be reading the comments, and I'll catch y'all guys in the next one.